Tomb Raider 4-6 Remastered is finally out for the Switch and other major systems, but is it any good? Let's take a look. Well, following on from the successful remaster the first three games had last year, it was pretty much a given that we'd be getting another trilogy of the next games in the series. This includes The Last Revelation and Chronicles from the PS1 era and The Angel of Darkness from the PS2 era. The collection has been developed by Aspyr and Saber Interactive with the same mission as before, which is to bring famed adventurer Lara Croft's classic adventures to longtime fans and a brand new audience with these remasters. Once again, the team have done a cracking job updating these games graphically for modern day. Right off the bat, we are treated to some great menus which show off the stunning graphics and what you can expect. The look of the games retains a classic feel with a nice clean modern edge, and of course the option to switch to the classic style of graphics is a very welcome addition in these remasters. You'll find yourself comparing the old and new quite frequently. As before, the remastered versions run at a lovely 60 FPS, and additionally you have the option to run classic on 60 or 30 FPS, which is a very nice touch this time. One thing that last year's game had is some areas could be seen as being a little dark in the modern graphics setting. Something I didn't mind too much, but it does appear to pop up again in this collection, so you might find yourself swapping between the old and new look, just to see where you're going. Each of the games are tonally different, which is a great contrast and helps give them each some form of identity, from your standard tombs to episodic globetrotting and even the dark streets of Paris. The level design for each of the games is generally strong and quite favourable. Photo mode makes a return and includes some improvements such as more settings and new outfits, which is awesome if that's your kind of thing. One thing I would have loved to have seen would have been updated FMVs, even just upscaled at the very least, but the old ones work fine enough, so no big deal really. Fundamentally, the Tomb Raider series are adventure puzzle games with action elements throughout. You'd explore different locations, challenge yourself with how to reach the next area, and shoot the occasional enemy along the way. There are also collectibles throughout the levels, and of course trophies and achievements to collect depending on what system you're playing on. As before, the game features the tank control system from the original games, as well as a new modern control system. Both work reasonably well, and modern mode actually feels like a little bit of an improvement from last year's remaster, particularly with the side jumping. I can imagine that players used to the tank system of the originals may take a minute to adjust to the modern controls and vice versa. The remaster also features adaptable interface settings and entirely configurable controls, as well as the cheat system which is taken from the original version of all three games. So if you happen to remember some cheat codes from back in the day, feel free to go nuts. Some nice additions are special content that was only exclusive for the Last Revelation's PC version, and missing content that was cut from the Angel of Darkness, which is greatly appreciated and could be a potential selling point to many. In terms of gameplay, Last Revelation and Chronicles are very playable for the most part and feel like classic Tomb Raider through and through. And Angel of Darkness, well, it's okay. Okay, it's not great compared to the other two, it has been known to be a little slow and sluggish, and even with the simplest of movements accidentally turning into something fatal. Thankfully, the addition of the modern controls have made it somewhat more enjoyable than it used to be, which can only be a good thing, as well as playing slightly differently to the rest of the series with things like stamina bars and other little things. The game has always been seen as a rough and clunky experience. Based on the game's original releases, when focusing on the main storyline for each of the games, you are looking at about 45 to 50 hours in length for the whole collection. If you're going for 100% completion of the game to find and see everything, you're likely going to spend another 10 hours or so on top of that. Nothing to sneer at here for the amount of gameplay on offer. Tomb Raider 4-6 Remastered is a fascinating collection that now completes the old Tomb Raider games for modern platforms. The team has done their best to bring these three games up to a higher standard, and overall, I would say it's mission accomplished. Whilst this remaster has made the first two games even better, it does feel like Angel of Darkness probably needed a little more work. The game wasn't in the best of conditions in its original form, and whilst it isn't the best remaster, the devs have put it in a far more playable and enjoyable state than it was before. Hey, that's what patches are for, so hopefully the devs are listening. For what it's worth though, the collection does well to honour these classic titles with their impressive graphical upgrades and a wide range of modern options, making all three of these games their definitive additions in my opinion. If you love the old games reason if you thought the previous remaster was good, or if you're a brand new player to the series. I would highly recommend giving this collection a try. One thing it really has going for it is the price. Much like the previous collection, this remaster really is excellent value for money, even if you're just curious about how a slightly improved Angel of Darkness looks and plays. In all seriousness though, the ports may not be perfect, but Aspyr have given us a solid collection. But for now, thanks for watching. If you like the content and want to see more, be sure to like, subscribe and all that stuff, and hopefully I'll see you in the next one. Bye for now.